When we look at the people of God versus the regular, we'll call it the Gentile world of the Gentile nations, um, the people who have a covenant with God versus the people who have no covenant with God, they're dealing with the legal system, the devil's advocates, and their, shall we say, fraudsters, and those they put in place to represent falsehood, legalism. Uh, the people of God have the power of the Holy Spirit. That's unlimited power. It's like unlimited love. It never depletes. It's there because of the source where it comes from. Truth has no limit. The legal lies, they have to keep on coming up with that in the legal system. So the power of attorney system that comes from the lawyers is very limited because of the source where it actually originates from. And because the devil has a limited period of time left, he operates with those who operate a democracy, those who operate on legal time, a legal time policy on how long they believe their time is left before they can actually be removed from power from God. And so they know their time is coming, and therefore they're collecting up the spirit of those who do not understand power of attorney versus power of the Holy Spirit. So all Christians who have a power of attorney, you don't have the power of God right now. You're operating in the construct of the devil. And if you carry a power of attorney right now, you are under the power of the devil. It's a very sad thing because when we put legal battery versus perpetual power from the natural creator, well, when Adam was with God in harmony, his energy came directly from God. It was a direct current of energy, a DC, directly from God continuously. Almost what would happen when you look at, actually we call solar energy. It comes directly in and it's basically available immediately, depending on there being no interruption with that power. But the power that is from God is perpetual. So when Adam sinned, he walked into debt and joined the fraudster, which was Satan, in treason against God. He only now had a vessel that only had so much power left. And therefore, there was only a limited amount that would come into it. And over a period of time, that battery eventually depleted till the day that we have now people living only 70 years, maybe 80 years, that's on average. But in the past, it was perpetual because Adam was made in the image of God. So that means he would have been timeless, and he would have basically had an energy that was timeless, and therefore he would have lived to eternity had he not sinned. When man walks into debt, walks into the concept of evil, walks into satanic belief systems, walks into the legal Gentile system, which is in opposition to the covenant of God, he's determined himself or adjudicated himself, whether it's by lack of knowledge or not, he's placed himself individually in a bad construct of pseudo law, which is just basically false law. So they're not under the law of God anymore, they're now under the laws of men. And this is under the laws of Satan, where it originates from. So we have to be very concerned whether or not we're going down the wrong direction here, whether we're going to let ourselves be affected by a legal system that can literally pull the power out of you immediately. They can deplete that power at any given moment. They fill the power of this legal battery concept of your existence, and therefore that body or that battery, that legal battery they control, knows that without you putting energy into it, actually putting your life force into it to generate commerce into their system, they have nothing without your spirit. And therefore, if you try to pull away from it, their battery depletes. But at the same time, if you're caught within that and not seeing the remedy of spiritual perpetuity that comes from God, this complete eternity that was promised by those who actually fulfill the will of God, do the will of God, work with God's Holy Spirit, then they basically have eternity at the promise that was given to them from their Creator. So are we going to be in the legal battery of the lawyers, the power of attorney, or are we going to be in perpetual power from the natural Creator under our Holy Spirit, which is the breath of life that God breathed into us upon creation? Are we the spiritual temple of God, or are we some pagan temple of those that perpetrate evil?